networking opportunities, bringing together like-minded individuals and providing actionable takeaways that can immediately be implemented. Now, this combination of expert knowledge, in-depth learning, engagement, and practical application makes masterclass presentations a highly impactful and professional session which caters for growth. All right, now today we're joined by an amazing individual, Kuan Wen Ting. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the agenda for today's session. All right, so first and foremost, we start off by the welcome remarks by Karabo. Then obviously we'll look into the masterclass session, which is how to deliver a winning pitch for creatives. And we're joined by Kuan Wen Ting, who will be the facilitator. And of course, after that, for 25 minutes, we'll look into the Q&A sessions, followed by the announcements. All right, let's take a look at the rules of engagement. All right, so first and foremost, please do respect all speakers on the platform. Please remain muted unless you are asked to mute by the host. Please use the chat box to send through your questions or raise your virtual hand. Please do make sure you guys are following us on our social media platforms. Let us know where you're joining from, and please do hashtag #Tutukisani, hashtag #Ataloha24, hashtag #Strat, hashtag entrepreneurship, and hashtag arts. First and foremost, please do make sure that you guys are signed in with your usernames. So first and foremost, have your name, your surname, and your organizational name, just for registrational purposes. All right, so without any further ado, allow me to welcome Mr. Kuan Wen Ting. Hey man, look at this. Kuan, how are you doing, brother man?
Who took that photo? Who took that photo? I'm doing great, thanks.
It's an amazing picture. How are you, sir?
I'm great, thanks. I'm really doing good. How's everybody else doing?
Oh no, we are good, man. Thank you so much first and foremost for joining us. We're joined by the creatives who are part of the ACT. It's an art and culture boot camp, and obviously just looking into the growth within this sector. We are joined by an amazing scale of entrepreneurs who focus on different discipline within the art and culture. But by you obviously having been part of the fintech boot camp, let's have a little bit of a discussion on your journey of that 16-week intensive program, and just talk about your takes away from that before you start with your masterclass.
I remember, firstly, it was very extensive and very thorough. And when they say it's a startup acceleration, they really mean that by the time you come into, I remember Lucky Lotule told me, he said that the idea you're going into the program acceleration with is not necessarily the idea coming out. And I remember that my partner and I, Wise, at the time, we went into the acceleration with a completely different idea, and two companies were born out of that one acceleration, that 16-day boot camp. And it's because what the acceleration did was put all the steps and all of the procedures and ask all the right questions in the right order, in order to say, hey, let's fill in the blanks and let's take you through and let's meet people that have already done it, and let's introduce you a network of people that are industry specialists, so you can ask them the questions that you want to know or need or always wanted to find out, and apply that into your own startup and see, am I going the right direction? It's not so much about having this one golden idea. Nobody even knows if it's worth anything, but refining that idea, polishing it, sandpapering it until it gets to the fully marketable product, and you have all of the procedures in order. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about turning your idea into something tangible, something that could become a vehicle that will take you to where you want to be. And I just want to once again thank the Startup Business Campus for the opportunity to be here and everything that I've learned from them as well. So from my journey, started up just as a normal entrepreneur looking to further the business, and it turned into two startup tech companies, one in the systems industry, which is QuantumSoft, and one in the web services industry, which makes web apps, cutting edge web apps, as well as websites and everything SEO related. So both of these came as a result as my expertise in the industry I was with. So I'd always advise people, start with the expertise that you're with and build your company around that and move forward into growing it into something actually tangible. So from there, it's been meeting after meeting, partnerships, I think about 6-7 different partnerships, and even being headhunted. Sorry about the noise, guys. It is a weekday. partnerships are people that once they've seen your expertise and see that you know what you're talking about, they want to work with you. So in business, networking is also very important. And you might not think you segment into a specific industry, but you never know, because every company needs a technological department, every company needs clothes, every company needs processes and management. So if your skills apply there, not only will you be able to further your company, you'd be able to network with a different company and possibly create something different, something that's not even, maybe not so much revolutionized, but something that is not there. And one of the partners that I recently became on board with, I became the technological officer, TCO, for them, is a tailoring and alterations company in Midrand, where I say. So if you just think about the blue collar industries, not all of them are online or digitalized, and they might become your partner, and it might become a very powerful, or show you where your target market is. So there's many ways to get to this, but my journey has been very vast. That's all I wanted to say.
Beautiful enough. For those that are just joined and probably wondering what is happening right now, I'm having a discussion with Kuan Wen Ting. He was part of our FinTech Startup Accelerator. Obviously, we talk about FinTech, we're speaking about financial technology. And right now, Kuan, he's doing an impeccable work, obviously, with his businesses. He mentioned he had two startups that were developed throughout the boot camp. So just for him now to be here and just to share, Kwan, I'm going to let you now get into your masterclass presentation. First and foremost, thank you so much for being part of this session. But before you go into it, any words of encouragement for the entrepreneurs now that are partaking within this boot camp? How can you encourage them and allow them to understand the importance of being part of every single session, being informative, asking questions, and also networking with themselves?
Absolutely, absolutely. I can wrap it up into one principle that I've learned in my 10 years experience, and it's called The Slight Edge. There's a book called The Slight Edge. If you guys can read it, look off, find it. It's find a PDF. I can send it to you. But it just it demonstrates the power of something that is compounded over time. At Slight Edge, it's like one of the quotes that is said in the book is, it's about a flower. It's about this flower that exists on top of a small pond, and it starts off very small. And in the first 7 days, it becomes a cluster, and in the next 14 days, it becomes like one small like lily pad. But at the end of the month, it has covered the whole riverside, or the whole riverbed, and it prevents all the sun from going in, so it has all the nutrients. But that's how a startup is, that's how business is, that's how life is, that it's not all going to happen in one stretch. You should look to just move the needle a little bit further and further, which means that talk to someone every day, network with someone every day, put a little bit into your business every day, just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, read more into your industry. So anything that can push you forward. Don't worry about, I don't know anything now, I'm not good, or what. 1 year is going to compound into 2 years, 3 years. 10 push-ups becomes 20 push-ups, and 100 push-ups within the month. And that's what I would say. I would say use the slight edge into your business, into positioning yourself where you want to be, moving the needle forward. That is going to be so much more valuable than trying to do one sprint race. Life is a long journey, and after that, after you've been in the market long enough and you have the expertise, those come with time. You will start to understand your environment better and your startup better, and you'll be able to communicate that better as well. So that's just the value of compounding your ideas and your work over time is more valuable than trying to do everything at once. That's my experience.
Oh, beautiful, Quan Wen Ting. I know that you are a man of many words, and obviously you and I can just take time just to have
We'll
discussions. Brother
talk
man,
off.
without any yeah. Without any further ado, brother man, let us go through your masterclass talking about how to deliver a winning pitch for creatives. Thank you so much, Kwan.
Okay, just let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can. Is it possible for you to make it full screen?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Perfect. Yes, we can.
Okay, just give me a second. Try chat. All right, so we know the topic of today, guys. It is how to deliver a winning pitch. This is in the creative industry. Here's the agenda, the introduction, understanding your audience, crafting your story, structuring your pitch, delivering with confidence, handling questions and objectives, and common mistakes to avoid. And then we're going to open up with a question and answer. I won't be there too long with the question and answers because I am on the clock, but I will answer as many as I can. Let me just see what's going on here. Okay, so yeah, first, I think I've already done the introduction. So I just wanted to welcome everybody that has made the time to join us today. The most important thing is showing up. That's another one. The people that do show up, they're the ones that are in the meeting and can influence the rest of their lives. The ones that aren't there, they're not in the conversation. So remember, we got a winning pitch, yeah? But in order to even deliver the pitch, we have to have an audience. So just want to thank all of you guys for joining me today and making the time available. I know you guys are all busy, just to be present. Okay, so I want to get into I'm just going to run through all of these ideas, then we'll open up the question and answers after that. Is that cool with everyone? Okay, thank you very much. Tamzanka. I think that's a click in there, but I won't injure myself today. So the importance of a winning pitch. Firstly, you must understand that people have a limited amount of time, right? So a pitch is something that is curated, condensed, and well explained so that people can understand your idea or your concept. So the choice of your words and what you choose to say is very important because you might only have that 30 seconds to capture someone's attention, which is the idea of a pitch. So imagine yourself that you're in an elevator and you recognize somebody that is pivotal in your industry. So it could be Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs, whatever. You want to create an app and you see him over there and you want to convey your message to him and say, hey, I've got the hottest product on the market. I've got the best startup, the best team, and I know that you need me. I just, need the opportunity. That's the idea of a pitch. So it needs to be short, sweet, convey all the important things. So somebody could be like, hey, I want to have another conversation with you, or I want to have a meeting with you later on. A winning pitch is what I'm going to take you through today. It has a couple of concepts, and we'll go through all of them. Okay, so the first one is to understand your audience. So knowing who you're preparing, this just like this presentation, is for the creatives. So if I'm talking about creatives, I'm talking about something visual. I'm talking about somebody who's in the music or the arts and they understand life from that perspective. So I wouldn't want to give you a whole lot of words and a whole lot of, say, read 500 pages. I would understand that I need to paint you guys a picture so you can understand me better if I'm trying to sell you something. So the number one thing you got to ask yourself is, am I talking to an investor? Am I talking to a bank owner? Am I talking to a family friend? And that's going to give you the kind of idea or the direction that you can take your pitch in to appeal to your audience. So that's the first thing. Know your audience. What are their age groups? What do they like? What don't they like? What do they value? Do they value family? Do they value trust? Do they value transparency? And from that, you can derive what type of pitch you're going to do. Are we all good? All right, cool. So yeah, tailor your pitch to your audience. If you're talking to somebody who's very conservative, speak to them in a conservative manner. Let them know all the information they want to know in terms of how much they're going to be spending, what they're going to be doing, what you're doing what you're using their money for, all of those things. Just make sure that you speak directly to them and appeal to their interests. It makes no sense to talk about large sums of money with people that are very conservative. So just know your audience. That's the first thing. Based on that, now you start crafting your story. So okay, cool. I'm talking to an audience of people between the ages of 25 and 30. Maybe they're going into family. They're very conservative. Then you start to say, okay, how do I communicate my story around that? And the reason why we use stories is because stories are very compelling. They allow you to absorb a lot of information in a small amount of time, keep you engaged, and it's very memorable. So as opposed to me giving you, I mean, everybody was in school and they know question 1, question 2, and stanzas of stuff that you forgot today. Nobody's used Pythagoras. We want to condense it into something fun. So you could use tools like the hero's journey, where you tell a story about how you started off your journey. I started off my journey with my partner, the first company, SEO Software Designs. I was a developer, just a web developer, and my friend, who is a graphic designer, Wise, he called me and said, hey, you do the websites, I do the graphic designs. Let's put our forces together. And that's how we became founders. Let's put our forces together. And it was difficult at first because we had no capital at all. We all put our own money to start it. So we spoke to a friend who had a printer and we asked him to print about 50 different pan flips. We do web development here in Midrand and graphic design. And we went to the local Mall of Africa and we started handing it out. But it wasn't the most impressive display because the printer ended up changing the ink, so it was a pink and yellow, and some of the numbers and stuff were blurred out. So we had to push on the sales and say, hey, we are the best in the industry, and despite our pan flips, and from there we started to grow. So when you tell a personal, relatable story, somebody gets an idea of where you came from, what you're about, where you started, and they're likely to be more interested and ask you, okay, then what happened next? So that's kind of how you're gonna get your pitch across in the form of a story, a true story that lets people know what your journey is. And then we started the second company, and the conclusion of where you're at now and what you're working on now. We're working on some cutting edge programs. We infiltrating other industries, and we're trying to bring everybody to the same level so they can leverage the online, leverage the digital world, because if you're not available, if you're not seen on the digital world, you don't exist. And how can you compete with anybody else that is? So those are the selling points, craft your story, make it personal, make it relatable, share it. And the more you say it, the more better you get at it, and it's also fun. All right, guys. I hope you guys are all with me. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through the key elements of a winning pitch. So you've got the introduction. It's a brief introduction of who you are and what you do. Make it short, make it sweet, make it direct. Don't complicate things, don't use big words, don't use any of that stuff there. Just make it short, sweet. I'm in the business of making you money in an ethical way, the fastest ethical way. Somebody understands what your business does. All right, I see a raised hand. Yeah, let me take a question real quick. Go ahead. Somebody had a raised hand. If you want to say something, you go ahead.
Hello.
How's it? How's it? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, can you start again for the key elements,
Definitely,
please?
definitely. So we're on the introduction right now. So the first thing you want to do is introduce yourself to the audience about what you do and what makes you different. It's called a value proposition. So the first thing you say, my company, my value proposition is that we take people online. We digitalize the companies. One small sweet slogan that tells your client exactly what do you do. We buy bricks, or we sell bricks, or we feed the hungry. There was a very interesting business that said, we make you the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time in the most ethical way. So who doesn't want to do business with a person like that? Fast money, and it's all above board. Great. So you need to say, okay, we supply websites to people in Midrand or whatever, but make sure that the introduction says everything you need to do. Look at all of the brands like Nike and all of that. They tell you exactly what they want to do. Sorry about the noise, guys. So the next thing is the problem statement. Okay, so this clearly defines what problem you guys are trying to solve. So it could be sanitary, it could be anything, but you need to okay, we have identified there's a problem with websites in Midrand, and we solve that, or we do the SEO for websites in Midrand. That's what we do. That's the problem right there. There's a problem in the industry where not a lot of people are online. Because they're not online, they can't sell their products. They're not visible. It's causing frustration because clients are unable to book in sessions and find them and all of that. Plus, you have no presence, so nobody can verify if you are legit or not. So that's the problem right now. Blue collar jobs don't have an online presence. Okay, we have the problem. What is the solution? We provide the online solution. We are online partner for the beauty industry in Midrand. That's SASD's solution. So we come in there, we digitalize everything for you. We make sure it's smooth, it's easy to operate. You don't lift a finger, you just leverage our services, and then we maintain that over time. So you make it short and sweet. We provide web services for people in Midrand. Done. That's the solution. Make sure that you guys are involved in there. And then you have to specify a call to action. You need to prompt them into doing the next step. It could be, can I have a meeting with you right after that? Or visit my website, or can I email you? But you need to attach some type of call to action, because giving somebody all this information, like right after this session, guys, please go to my Instagram and give me a like. That would really, I really appreciate that. That's a call to action, right? And I'm also giving you advice right now. Do that after the after the masterclass, right? And then after that, when you are closing, just give a summarize of all the key elements that you want to convey in there. Say, okay, we in Midrand, we do this business, we're happy to help you. These are my numbers. This is how you contact me. Done. So if they get lost around the way, they can always revert back to, let me have another meeting with this guy. Are we all in a good? Just take down this key elements. As long as you have these 5, 6 things, everything will be fine. And then you just refine them. Are we all together, guys? All right, some thumbs up. Okay, cool. Did I answer your question? Okay, cool. So yeah, in terms of the presentational skills, okay, now you've got your target audience, you've got your structure, you filled in your structure, you know your introduction, you know what you're gonna say, you know your value propositions, you know all the things that you want to convey to this person, and you've condensed it in like a 3-part series or whatever. It's very small. I think we're gonna leave the questions for after because of time. But yeah, the next thing you want to do is just firstly love your product, love the industry you're in, and when you love what you really do, it's gonna come through in your presentation. You're gonna be very excited about telling somebody about this wonderful thing that you're a part of and that you're learning more every day. The second thing is to practice what you're gonna say, nail it down to 1 or 2 sentences, short, concise. Don't use any fancy language. Maintain eye contact. Yeah, be enthusiastic about it and just love it. Everything else will naturally fall properly when you're telling us. It's like, imagine telling us your friend about your business, about your idea, about your girlfriend. Let's put it that way. You're gonna tell us you got red hair, you got blue eyes, she cooks for you and all that. It's so enthusiastic, and this guy's like, oh my word, I need to meet her, or whatever the case is. That's the kind of energy you're going into the presentation was. You're like, oh my God, I've got this great company. It's the best thing that ever happened. It's something that's no one's seen. It's my favorite thing to do. And I want to tell you about this, right? And then you got to prepare for the objective. So somebody's going to say, okay, but what about this? What about that? What if I don't want to, why should I have a website in the first place? You know, in 2024, why should I have a website? Because if you don't have a website, you're not visible online. And most of the interactions happen on our cell phone. So your company literally does not exist. If you are telling me that you want walk-in clients and traffic that way, how many people could fill your physical building? Maybe 50, maybe 100. But how many people can be attracted online while you're sleeping? Hundreds of thousands. Like in this conversation alone, maybe about 50 people. My house can't accommodate 50 people. So even if I invited them, not all of them would come. However, the online can accommodate 50, 100, 200. And of that volume of people, they get converted into a more sales approach. So when you start to understand how you leverage the online and how important it is in 2024, because everybody's got a cell phone and online, and right now they're learning classes from the internet, you need to be a part of that. It's a requirement. It's not, it's a mundane. It's not an optional thing for your business. So you need to let somebody know your product, it's not optional, or how it's going to help them and what you're trying to do about it. Once they understand all of that, you give them the objections and say, hey, I don't have the money. Okay, what do you have? Work with it. Find a way to, the more you go over the objections, the more you're going to have answers for them. You're going to say, that guy asked me this question. What can I say next time? That's an objection. Are we together, guys? So it's not that you're just going to have a great product and everyone's going to accept it. They're going to have questions. And one of the questions are going to make you think. But once you have the answer for that, you handle it. And you just understand and say, hey, this is the question. Let me move forward. Okay, are we together, guys? Sorry, I just want to move my video over here. Just over here. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so now we have the pitfalls of pitching. So this is the things that you might fall into when you are describing or you're trying to give a presentation to someone. You don't know enough about your product, so it's very vague. You say, oh, we supply cars to everyone. You know, we sell lawn mowers to everyone. And people are like, who are you talking? That's a bit vague. You need to be more specific and say, we supply lawn mowers to people in the industry between this street and this street, and they are about 25 years old and they drive this car. the more specific you are, the more better it shows you understand your market. And also the person you're talking to says, hey, this guy's done his due diligence, he's done his research, he knows what he's talking about, and I can trust him, I can move forward. He knows all the answers, you know. Don't focus too much on the problem, right? We know the problem exists from your own market research, right? Tell them what you're gonna do about the solution. Tell them that you are the guy. You are the guy that knows how to solve the problem. Okay, and don't overload them with too much information. Keep it short, keep it sweet. Let them know you can handle it, and through the process, it'll be clear that you can handle it. That's where the testimonials or review comes through. So what I did was to obtain the TCO, or to become the chief officer of technology inside an industry that I haven't even been in, the tailoring and altering industry, is I said, look here, you don't know anything about the online. You're running a brick and mortar business, okay? And you don't see the value that SEO or internet or digital presence has. Fine. Let's do a small experiment. Give me your Instagram page. I'm going to do 1 month campaign on it, and then we'll see the stats from there. So this company started about on 12,000 likes, and I think an engagement of about 200. And I took over the page, and there was a graph that showed, look, this is the engagement of the page. If you guys have a business page, you know what I'm talking about. And on, I think it was the 24th of March or something like that, I started taking over the page, and I started curating content, posting, liking, connecting all the SEO elements. That's my field of expertise. And immediately when we saw the graph, it went up at that first day that I started, and it just started superseding. And it turned into about 32 following likes, 32,000 likes. So when the client has seen, okay, I've given this guy my it's all for free. I've given this guy my page for 1 month. My likes has tripled, my engagement, he gets about 40 calls a day just to say, hey, are you a tailor in Midrand? Hey, what's going on? I'm looking for this, I have a wedding. The minute he sees that, he starts to understand, oh my word, right? That's how you start the conversation. And then from there, you say, now you understand what's important. Let me do that to your website, or create the website, or create all of these other things. So sometimes you can open the door by yourself by giving a little bit of time and energy and showing the person the value before asking them to invest in you. Sometimes you could just get it right off the bat. It's up to you how you want to go about it, but just make it clear, concise, and show them that you're a professional in the industry. Okay, are we together, guys? All right. Okay. I think that's the end of my presentation. So I'm open to, I'll take about five questions from, or yeah, 5 questions from different people. Then I'll have to bounce. So go ahead, guys. Okay, go ahead. I see the raised hands. Let's start with Kopano. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kopano. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to ask about the website.
Yes.
How do you determine what kind of website you're supposed to build for your business?
Supposed
For
to do for
example,
your own business.
yes, for my own business.
What
I'm a
business are you in?
photography.
So you're talking about creating appointments. That's what you're doing. When they come over there, they wanna contact you. They wanna create. So you know it's not an e-commerce. You're not selling anything. You know that it's more of a landing page. So what you need to ask yourself the questions, okay, what do I want somebody to do when they get to the website? So I want them to contact me. So they need a landing page. I want them to know about my services. I want them to see some credibility, some testimonials. So that'll tell you the nature of it. If you said I want to sell some products, you'll say e-commerce. If you say I have a business, like a law firm or something, I need a business website. If you're saying that I just need a storefront, I only got products. So depending on what the nature of your business is, you decide. But everybody needs a presence. So the most important thing about a business or a website is it's going to automate your processes, and it's going to get you in contact with the client. So it must be fast. It must be easy to operate. It must be visually appealing, and and tell them everything they need to know, like pre-qualify them. So I would just say a landing website is good for you with a contact form. Hey, contact me if you need a photographer in your area. That's it. You can always expand later on. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
And next one, Tepo, please go ahead. or Tamzanka. Tamzanka.
Hi. Great session. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
My question is just in terms of the online presence,
Yeah.
how does one balance this out between having a website, an app, and also just other apps that exist? How do you make sure that your Instagram is not clashing with your website or your Twitter or your YouTube,
And
etc.?
all right, so it has to be all linked together. It's not all separate platforms. It's think about it as touch points. So what, as an SEO specialist, what I do is I create a net, okay? And the net has to go to one place, the funnel system. So your website and your business is the home. It's the home where you want everybody because it's your domain. It's your domain and it's your world, it's your house. So inside this house, you can change anything. You could put your own articles, you can put your own writing. You can't do that on Google. You can't do that on Instagram. They have their own rules on Twitter. So you understand that everything should point to your website. And then your website should go through the funnel where it's checking the person out. You're using your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, you're using all of that as touch points. So you're saying, hey, if I post on Instagram, I still want them to go to my website, and my website is going to check them out or give me the contact details. If I post on Facebook, so based on the platform you're using, it will tell you the nature of the content. So if you look at Instagram, for instance, it's a very visual platform. It's mostly pictures. It's not long descriptions or anything. So you want to be picture heavy, but you want the content to lead to your website and say, hey, this is a picture. Do you need a website? Go to my website. You don't need to sell there. Write on Instagram. You can just DM me, but you want them to go to your website because inside the website, you have your testimonials, you have your pictures, you have your projects, you have everything that you want to curate to show to the client, hey, I know what I'm doing in my business and here's my numbers. Same with LinkedIn. Now you've got a more article structure where I can write long articles and stuff like that. So you don't want to be picture heavy. So you're using all these tools as different means to capture different audiences, to bring them to your home, your business or your home or whatever the case is, and then show them the best parts of you. And then from there, you get them onto a call or whatever the case is, and then try and close the deal. But yeah, your social media must all be a part of one bigger unit. It should not be singled out. So connect your WhatsApp, send it to your website. Correct your Instagram, send them to your website. Now, when people see that, there's some people that are only on Instagram, they can find you. There's some people that are only on Facebook, they can find you. But your net is, I've got 12 different touch points where people can actually find me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, did I answer your question? Okay. I don't know if I've lost you, but anyways, next question, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much.
Can you please continue?
Okay, the main thing is that everything should be connected. So all your social medias are touch points. They're a place where a client can reach out to you. And all that should be connected to the bigger picture, which is your actual website or your business. If you have a brick and mortar business, you would say, come to my business. Come right there to where I operate. So you're using these as marketing tools to get you to the place, or your filter. If you only have Instagram, that's your filter, and you send everybody to Instagram. But if you have a website, there's so much more you can do. You could turn it into an app. You could, like I say, you could post your testimonials and pictures and all of those types of things. So, okay, sorry, let me just take two more questions and I have to bounce, guys. Is it Tepo? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for a great presentation. Good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you,
I wanted
Tepo.
to ask, so sometimes when you are doing this innovative, services,
Yeah.
sometimes clients don't know what you are saying. So would you say you need to have two pitches, one for investors, funders, and one for potential clients? Like
Yeah.
you ended up having a client, I believe, because of what you're offering. So do you need to have two presentations for two pitches for this them for clients and for
I don't really have two pitches. Try and make your pitch as easy to understand, because even an investor doesn't mean he's a specialist in your field. So when I talk to people, I don't usually tell them I'm an SEO specialist, right? What I'll tell them is that I'll put you on the map. That's what I say. Look here, I'll put your business on the map. I can see right now you're not on the map. You're not on Google Maps. When I Google you, you're not anywhere to be found. If I Google the service bricklayer in Midrand, I can't find you. So my job, I'm going to put you on the map. So that's why I say, remember that you should always keep your words to something that's very relatable for the man on the street. 2 seconds. What do you do? I put businesses on the map. How do you do that? I do the SEO and whatever. You don't need to go, but you need to communicate your services easily, clearly. Don't have any question about it. Just if you're a tile layer, you say, I lay tiles. You don't have to say, I studied here, I did this, my company is how big, and whatever the case is. Once, if they need any other information, that's why you get the documents. That's where your pitch is there, or your business plan. That's the in-depth document that they say, look, send me your business plan or send me whatever the case is. Then you could see things from there. But you don't want to have a professional one and another one. You can have it if you want to. But even the professional one, someone has to read it and understand it. So what you want to do is make it as easy as possible and just tell them, look, yeah, this is what I do. If I'm an app developer and I want to say, oh, I build all of these innovative apps, you just say, I help businesses produce their ideas or digitalize their ideas or whatever. The easiest thing you could say, like if your younger brother had to tell you, that's what you have to say to the client. From there, you can get deeper and deeper, but they don't usually want that. You as a professional know what you're going to do. I know I'm going to go do the backlinks, the social media. I know I'm going to change the pages. They don't need to know that. They only need to know that SEO is you get more back than what you put in. That's one of the things I said. Then they say how, and then we go into conversation and stuff like that. So don't overcomplicate things.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead. One more question. Odirile. Please go ahead. For sure.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Sorry, you're breaking.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
So I was asking, can we please have your social media links on your website?
Yeah, sure. It's in my name. It's SA Software Designs, but just look for my name, Kuan Wen Ting. I'm just gonna put it in. I'll put it in the chat actually, and also you can reach out to the business campus guys. Start a business campus. They have it all there. Following them. Yeah, just Google my name. If you know I'm an SEO specialist, then you know I need to be Google. Google my name. It'll have my Instagram, my website, everything there.
Thank you so much for the question.
All right, guys, I have to leave. Thank you very much for your time and have a great one. Cheers.